Baby Beard Media.
D&D? Double Ds? Do you like double Ds in your face, in your ears? Get them in your ears!
Wow. We've gone full Red Letter Media. Full, what are their podcasts like?
Not being specific to them, just any D&D. Just get some D&D.
Get some D&D in you. Double D in your face.
Stop it.
We'd like to do a little shout out to some friends of ours. If you like your adventure with a little more swords and sorcery, a little less robots and lasers, check out You Meet in a Tavern, which follows the adventures of
Tug, Durf, and Carl, and they're played by Kirk, Jamal, and Brian.
comedy podcast, lighthearted, 5th edition D&D adventure. So check those guys out.
If you like D&D, have some D&D in your ears. Din-din? What is din-din?
We're going to cut everything you just said.
Yes, I know.
Shut up and take my podcast.
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 Shut up and take my podcast. Stereotypes.
I am the foreigner. My customs are different. Upwards inflections. Australian.
Your beer belly is so big, your door doesn't even close, and that doesn't even make sense.
The sentence ends well with, I got advice from Nixon.
We're a G-rated.
This is a problem. Are we? Futurama podcast.
Trademark. License. Copyright.
Don't say those words.
Shut up and take my podcast.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Oh, that took 5 minutes of prep, but we did it.
Yeah.
We did it.
Bodes well for the rest.
Welcome everybody to Shut Up and Take My Podcast, that Futurama podcast where we go episode by episode and sometimes even try and get other people onto the podcast to talk about Futurama. Hello everyone, my name is Sean. I'm joined here by Phil.
Hello.
James.
Hello.
And a bunch of Pauls.
Hello. Hey.
Hey, they're there.
Hey.
So we've decided to do something a little bit differently, and we've got the guys from One Good Thing joining us. You know what? Let's just do it. Plug minute. Guys, what is One Good Thing?
Oh shit, we should have prepared something.
Oh, we literally haven't thought about this.
I'm knocking you with it.
So you need to prepare to talk about the podcast you regularly
We've never actually thought about the podcast that we do. It's a rule.
Okay.
It's like Fight Club in that respect. We just don't talk about it outside the room. Outside the
The
Iron
licensing
Maiden,
isn't
in
out in
which we record.
Australia, so...
Hello there, shut up and take my podcast listeners. We are two Pauls from One Good Thing. It is our objective to prove to the world that no film is fully worthless by picking up the worst films ever made, the films that just nobody was interested in hearing nice things about, and talking positively about them.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
endeavour.
And sometimes,
Definitely.
sometimes you find there's a lot to be positive about.
Absolutely.
Not always,
No.
but sometimes.
It's because I did a review recently for Paul Blart because a local radio station was doing a movie review call out for people. And I watched it and I thought, how the fuck did you guys find a good thing to say about it? It's not a good film.
I think that was one of the most
Not even-
teeth-clenchingly sort of delivered episodes that we've done.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll
we
never
spoke.
lie. We'll never lie about a film, but we will hunt around for something that made us feel anything.
Yeah, I mean, we
Well,
did
we'll
have to.
stretch.
We had to go back and rediscuss as well in order to.
We did.
We circled
I thought
around
you
the
were going to
note.
say we had to go back and rewatch it, which I thought was well above the Call of
There
Duty.
is no justification for that. You insane madman. But
No, that's right.
I
we
won't even
finished,
watch it once. So.
We finished the episode. We gave our final thoughts, and we said, thanks for listening, everyone. And then we both looked at each other and thought, no, we didn't do our job. We've got to go back in there, dive back into this corpse, and really find out what killed it.
That is Paul, and they're going to join us to talk about Season 2, Episode 7, War is the H Word. Can anyone tell me what is the H word? Hell.
Heck.
For Americans, yeah.
Phil, were you saying before that you just got
Just
it?
got it.
Okay.
I was walking back to the mic setup after watching the episode. I was like, oh,
Hey.
right. War is hell. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, the words of General Sherman, for those of you, he said, he may or may not have said, war is hell.
What do you mean may or not have?
Well, they don't have definitive proof that he said it. They're just he said things like it.
Some
May or
some
may not have said the actual words.
Some general said it at a party. It didn't go down as well as he thought it might, and so he said, "Yeah, General Sherman said that."
Nah, it was more general. Like, it was more general.
It was more general.
It's
More
like
general.
hell, kind of like the army, isn't it?
A general said that.
So we have the director Ron Hughart and writer Eric Horsted, both guys who are back from Bender-related episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Ron Hughart's back from Raging Bender.
Oh yeah, good episode.
And Eric Horsted's back from Bender Gets Made. So I've endeavored to, every time we get a returning director and writer, to give you an extra little tidbit. I struggled, but here's what I can give you. Ron Hughart directed the pilot of American Dad.
Really?
Wow.
He gave us that lovely gem.
The slight improvement on Family Guy.
And the
yeah.
massive improvement from the Cleveland show.
Yeah.
And the rest of American Dad?
And Eric Horsted, one of the latest things he did is he directed the 27th season finale for The Simpsons. Orange is the New Yellow.
When you said
Yeah.
27th, do you mean the ending to season 27th or the 27th episode they intended as a finale for that fucking show?
This is gonna be it, guys. No more.
Oh, we've been greenlit for another 5 seasons.
Oh my god.
Awkward. Shouldn't have killed off Homer.
But those are some good
So
Futurama episodes as well. Some good directing accolades under his belt there.
It's great.
Definitely.
So air date November 26th, 2000. So they had a bit of a
My
hiatus
God.
because technically we're into the 3rd season of the broadcast order.
Oh.
But I don't give a crap about the broadcast order. So production season it is. So it is season 2, episode 17. Introducing. Okay, so who's familiar with MASH? Because
Yeah.
Me.
Yep.
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's not seen MASH? Like, it was on every day after school for like 10
Yeah.
years.
well,
In the UK, it's so many reruns.
Really? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god, yeah.
Well, in the UK, it was showing at lunchtime on weekdays, so it was the thing that I got to watch if I successfully managed to get myself out of school. It was the reward.
It's a
I
dark
have
thing
never
to show middle of the day,
seen-
isn't it?
Never seen an
all
episode
comedy.
of MASH, and in fact, I had
Neither
to
have
ask other Paul about iHawk.
iHawk.
Yeah, I didn't
Oh,
get
really?
it.
Yeah.
So what was I watching? Maybe I was in school learning.
I mean,
And that's
I
what
was
got you
more
to where you are
Indigo.
today. The
Yes.
room next to me, motherfucker.
I saw
System
so much
works.
MASH. Like, it went on longer than the war, I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it
that's
did.
It did, yeah. It lasted about twice as long as the actual war it was set in.
So basically, Todd Sussman, who was the PA announcer in Futurama,
Yes.
the guy who says,
10-4.
what is it? Yeah, 10-4
I mean,
Medical
5.
Bay.
Repeat
5.
4.
Yeah.
That was the PA announcer from MASH.
Yeah.
It sounds like it.
Same guy.
It's the same guy. That's what. Yeah.
I'm hoping.
What a nice pick.
Is iHawk the same?
No.
No, it wasn't Alan Alda.
No.
Because like he's still around, isn't he? He's still
He
kicking.
is.
Alan Alda.
Yeah.
He's alive.
Yeah, he's old as hell, but
So respectful.
I was gonna say he was recently in West Wing, but that was probably about 11 years ago now.
Look, recently,
Yeah.
sure.
Just that every time, so we run down the production information at the beginning of every episode, and it's like the air date was 2000. Every time it makes me go, God, we're really 17
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know
Every
if
time.
I don't know if I did so audibly, but I did just go, my God.
No, I caught it.
I'm old.
Hey, you don't feel
Okay,
it though,
so
guys,
here's a
right?
weird one
hey,
for you.
Hey?
oh, I feel it.
So the jellyfish nurse, who was the assistant for Dr. Zoidberg, I'm just going to run down you what that jellyfish nurse has done so far. She came up. She was originally on the Titanic episode dating Zoidberg.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then she comes back in the Miss Universe episode beatboxing.
Wait, do we know it's the
That's
same
right.
one?
That's her special talent.
Yeah. And now,
Oh my God.
so there's already a conflict of interest in the workplace because they dated, and she's also
A Miss Universe
a Miss
contestant.
Universe
Oh,
contestant
come on
as a
now.
beatboxer.
We all know doctors and nurses what goes on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are they definitely the same? Is it definitely the same character, or is it just somebody of the same
yeah,
species?
speciesist.
Yeah, they all look the
being
same
both.
from that planet.
It's a species of
Back
one.
to where you came from.
Just
All right, fine. What's her name then?
I don't know. They all sound the same, don't they?
Oh, speciesism.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what. Another just throwing this to you guys. Do you guys want to run down the plot? And when I mean you guys, I mean both of you.
Okay.
Ooh.
Sync.
One word at a time.
Okay, we'll count down from 11.
I'd say first half, second half, splitting it at the battle. So, do you want to do first or second half?
I can go with
Try and
I'll go
make
with
it total about a minute.
All right, cool. All right, we'll do it quickly. Feel free to interject if I actually don't. I'm not interested in your thoughts on this. So it starts with Fry and Bender. They're in a newsagent's or a convenience store, I guess you call it. I know, got to do this for the.
You're using a lot of your time
for the
here.
international fans.
Is it a Newsies?
Yes, and they see a military guy getting a discount for quite a lot of pornography, and learning that the only way to get a discount on their gum, pink and
5% discount.
they realise they have to join the army. They go to join the army, fully intending to buy the gum and then leave the army, just benefiting from the discount. And then war is declared. War were declared immediately.
War is declared.
So they go to the barracks. They begin a training montage. Leela, who wants to go along because it's the only way she's going to be able to protect Fry and Bender, is told no for various manly Brannigan-esque reasons, and she sneaks in dressed as a man who under the pseudonym Lee Lemon. I think that's the first half, isn't it?
I was going to say the battle, but no, I can take over from there.
All
So
right.
at this stage, the robot uprising turns violent. Oh, shit, no. Sorry, my
That's the wrong episode.
turn the page. Okay, there's a training montage as the men are very quickly trained up on the way to the battle. There is then a surprise attack, surprising not the least to the men participating in it. They then engage in a battle against the enemy, who transpire to be a race of bouncing balls who burst upon impact with projectile weapons. After the battle, in which Fry surprisingly...
So
in which
just
Fry
to let you guys
surprisingly-
know, in the time that you have been talking about this, I went to the door, opened it, greeted the pizza guy, took the pizza, and have come back, and you've only just gotten to after the fucking war.
All right, this
God damn it.
this
We
usually
always
takes
talk to
us
this.
40 minutes, right?
This is like a minute
right.
segment that just streamlines this.
I haven't even blunked
All
yet.
right.
Keep going.
Go for it.
Fry acts cowardly. Bender acts bravely. Bender is made an ambassador to the balls. Fry is made a chauffeur to Kith. It turns out Zach Brannigan's hidden a bomb inside of Bender to blow up the planet. Fry manages to discover his courage in order to foil this plot. The bomb doesn't go off. The brains surrender their home planet to Brannigan's forces. And yeah, everybody goes home. Bomb in tow.
Yes.
Brilliant.
A
Awesome.
succinct rundown of war is the H word.
Oh,
All right, and
got there.
as always, guys, what do we think?
It's a really fun episode.
Yeah.
Like, there's lots of stuff in it. Like, even having, like, Richard Nixon and London. It's basically Nam. Like, having
Yeah.
that connection is great.
They squeeze in a lot of kind of references. So there's MASH, the reference to Vietnam as a thing.
Yeah.
There's a little cheeky Star Wars.
there's
in
a
there
Starship
as well.
Troopers in there.
There's
Starship
a
Troopers.
lovely
Starship Troopers,
slathering of
yeah.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah, fantastic.
And my most hated reference, one of my most hated references so far, fucking David Letterman.
Yeah, I was like, I forgot about this reference being actually in the episode. And I used to be, I'm going to be honest.
Oh, the list.
I used to watch.
The top
list.
10.
I used to
10.
watch a lot of Letterman.
Oh.
I'm sorry. He's awful, but it's like, it's one of those things where you start watching something and then you become attached and you can't stop.
I can detach myself from Letterman.
I was young, dumb, and I think Channel 9 had stopped showing other late night shows. I was stuck with him or nothing.
There's a part of that I do like, though, is that they use the top 10 list of things that he most often says. And some of them are really dumb, right? You never hear him say, like, daffodil and pimpmobile, and then they squeeze them all into the script.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty clever.
Yeah, I like the daffodil about 3 seconds before the list. Yeah,
Hot diggity daffodil.
yeah, which is good.
It's such a Benderism, right?
Yeah, well, that Bender. But it is a great episode. It's got Zach Brannigan in it. It's got Nixon like on
Kissinger.
top of the cast. I mean, they're some of the best episodes for me. It's It's always like the Earth invasion ones or the big battle ones because you've got Nixon and Brannigan.
Yeah.
And they are like the most quotable, most fun characters, I think, for me anyway.
This is the brass ring, people.
I like the Brannigan line of his very sexy learning disability. Sex Lexi.
Kip, what do I call it? What's his reason for when his reason for when Leela wants to join and
it's that the men kept getting distracted by the female officers, but he says,
it's almost
not whilst I'm running
wouldn't
things.
change it as long as he was in charge.
Yeah.
So they didn't get rid of Zap, they got rid of women.
Lots of harmless pinching and things. Yeah, excellent.
That's it.
It has my most quoted Futurama line. That young man fills me with hope and some other emotions which are strange and deeply confusing me.
Yeah.
It's the one thing I remember.
I do love that, like this like, I guess I would say subplot of the episode that Zap's dealing with his like thinking he's gay,
but it's just that he is unequivocally attracted to Leela in all forms.
Yeah, which is sweet, I guess. The fact that no matter who she pretends to be, it's kind of like the Flexo thing of him and Bendeline. It's no matter who she's pretending to be, he's gonna fall for her.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's true.
And it's something sweet about him trying to deal with that. He's reading about ancient Greece and like really awkwardly trying to bring it up in conversation. And
I like that they kind of tread the line where he doesn't quite realize what's happening to him.
Yeah.
Kif knows more than everyone knows more.
Oh,
It's
everyone
like,
knows more. He's like, I thought we were going to be good friends. Good save.
I think your point about saying that Brannigan episodes with Brannigan are fun because he is quotable. There's always something, if he's in an episode, there's always something that sticks in your head. Like for me, he says that Leela's hand is as soft as a velvet child.
Yes, I had that. Velvet child is wonderful.
They have a real fun, the script writers, with Brannigan's lines, I think.
Or was it, Ben is the bravest soldier since his mirror got grease on it.
Yeah. I also really like, some of you are going to die for it. Some of you will be forced through a fine mesh screen.
Those are the bravest men.
The luckiest men of all.
I think that's my favourite Brannigan line of definitely the episode. I'm not sure about of all time. There are some real classics.
I'd have to consult the chart.
Can't just do that off the top of my head.
Speaking of charts, I cannot believe someone did this.
Yes,
So,
I know.
I was looking at the top 10 list, and I was trying to think, I wonder how much of that is actually accurate. Well, someone has trawled through the entire transcripts of Futurama and found Bender's true top 10 words.
Okay,
yes.
go.
Well, hold on. I have found this list also, and I was going to suggest, I've seen it too, so I shall abstain from this, as I suggest you do as well. Can the remaining guys suggest any of the words that would appear on this list? And I should point out,
I was going to wait for
like
that.
the, am, it,
okay, cool.
all that stuff.
Top 10. Oh my god.
What I can tell you is the only word that remains on that crosses over is ass.
Right.
And ass sits at 8.
Alcohol. I don't know.
No alcohol.
That's...
He doesn't say it that often.
No, he doesn't.
Loser.
Percent.
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 I'm 80%.
You're saying that.
Oh, yeah, 80%
Oh,
zinc
yeah.
and...
Yeah. Laugh at me.
Hey?
Fool.
What?
Did you just say hey?
Hey,
Meatbag.
No.
Bender.
Back.
Fry
Did you just say,
is...
hold on. Goodman, what did you just say?
Bender.
Yeah, Bender.
All right, so we'll give you the top 10, starting from... Okay, Bender's top 10. Number 10, kill. Number 9, old. Number 8, ass. Number 7, God. Number 6, love. Number 5, whoa. Whoa.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
Number 4, human or humans.
Humans. Deaf to all humans.
Number 3, robot or robots.
Okay. Robots.
Number 2, Fry.
Hey.
And number 1, his own damn name, Bender.
Yay.
I mean, to be fair, there is
sense,
an episode where he's just singing his own name for like 30 seconds.
Hey, look, I'm Bender. Dibby-doo. Do I get a
Apparently
prize
he
for
says his
that?
name 104 times.
Goodman did guess number 1. So
Yes.
I think
It's
you guys.
You've all got to
win
laugh at my
nothing.
jokes now, no matter how crap they are.
Goodman
Continue
wins
to
the
be.
podcast.
I see what you
So
did
this is
there. That's very
also
good.
this is this episode here is number it's number 5 on IGN's top 25 of all time. And if you're including the original run, it hits number 4 on TV.com. That's just the original 4 seasons. So it's high up on people's lists.
Yeah, it's got a few nice elements to it. So you've got the subplot of Fry finding his courage. So
Yeah.
he uses his gun to make a hole in the ground to
He's got
hide.
the only positron shooter.
Yeah.
That's all wound up.
It's wound up. Yeah, so he's there in a pool of his own cowardice.
Yeah, but it's not
not
cowardice.
Not cowardice. And then he finds his courage war makes him a man. There's also something in that sequence where he says Bender is his best friend, which is that running thing of the bond that those two have, which is really lovely.
Yeah, and it's sweet that the thing that makes him find his courage is his love for his friend.
Yeah. so
Although
it's got-
that wasn't enough to protect them during the battle.
Well, although when Bender goes to sacrifice himself, he is visibly torn. He's like, "No, Bender!"
Yeah.
Also, I've seen the scene of Bender being made on the conveyor belt. Young Bender looks absolutely the same as old Bender. It does not matter.
Oh yeah,
I swear, isn't there like
he
one
wants the
episode
picture
where
of
he's
the
actually
young
like a
him with the
baby?
cigar in the bottle.
Because I'm pretty sure, isn't there a young baby Bender when like everyone gets stuck in that fountain of youth and Bender
Yes.
doesn't he goes
Yeah, that's what we
Which
call a
makes no
continuity
sense.
error.
And he turns into a design blueprint disc.
yeah.
That's right.
So it's that thing that we talk about a few times on the show, which is if the episode has some heart to
Yeah,
it,
if it has some
it
heart.
lifts the comedy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it gives the comedy a foundation.
Yeah.
No, it absolutely
and
does,
that's
yeah.
what pops the episode, I think, into people's top 5. Plus, I think it's got good sci-fi tropes.
Yeah.
Intergalactic war, evil
Yeah.
aliens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've never had a chance to see the military side. Like, there's the episode where everyone gets conscripted to go fight the it's the Omicronians, isn't
Neutrals.
it?
Yeah.
And the
earlier
Hubble
on.
telescope.
And they destroy the
Oh,
space
When
telescope.
aliens attack. Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
Which looks suspiciously like an invasion ship.
Yeah.
Major design flaw.
But yeah, this is our first time seeing a whole new facet of this futuristic society, which is how the army works now, which is sort of like it used to, except with tents that you can just add water to.
Yes.
It was basically, when they went to the officers' quarters and they had this big picturesque window and the battle was just happening outside. It reminded me of Monty Python, The Meaning of Life, where it's like, been in the wars, and like it's like the officers just walk around, it's all fine, everyone else is just dying.
That's right, yeah.
Those bombs are scarily close to where they're just drinking.
Yeah,
and
good
having-
time. Nothing happens to officers. It's a
But I
it's
do
bad.
like all the old world touches, like Brannigan's horse. What was,
Yes, Felicity.
Felicity. on a hover platform.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Yeah.
it was deleted. It was a deleted thing that Kif was on a donkey on a smaller platform that would follow him around tap on his.
Paul has done as much research as I have. Damn you!
Did he steal your line?
Yeah, I had it written down.
Oh, sorry.
We rely on Sean for all of those things. There's you see an interesting side to Kif in this episode.
Yeah,
Authority.
yeah.
Well, he's just got all this rage built up that he has to dispense somewhere.
You'd think he'd be
Chain
like
of assholes.
understanding about the scenario, but no, he's just gonna take it out on someone.
Yeah.
And mix these nuts.
Yeah,
It's,
I see
it's,
two together.
Two almonds touching each other.
Oh, but he almost says almonds. He hits that L a bit too hard, and I don't like it. My ear does not like it.
What's the it's like kicking the dog, isn't it? Getting home from a shitty day of
Oh, yeah.
work. What's the other episode where it's Brannigan begin again, isn't it? When he he starts working with Leela and Fry and that, and becoming the underling.
Blew up
He
to
just can't
headquarters.
stop talking about like how how annoying Zach Brannigan is and all the horrible things he does, to the point of it being like painfully boring. And it's like, given the chance, he's quite an annoying guy. he's like
Yeah,
bit of a piece of shit and an annoying guy.
he deserves it. He deserves it. It's fine.
Yeah, Brannigan's alright.
Oh, the quintessential male is Zach Brannigan. apparently.
Oh yeah.
Oh, speaking of Brannigan as the quintessential male, Paul, let's see if you've got this fact up your sleeve.
Oh my god, it's hotting up.
So,
Let's see if
have
I
you
can
got the
preempt
Comic-Con? the way that animation works is if you're watching it on TV, you know that at least the edges are somewhat cut off. So you're not technically getting the full picture. So they originally showed this episode at Comic-Con. And because they're showing it on a projector, you'll get the entire image. So when Zap comes out of the shower, you actually see a tiny bit of a start of a penis line.
Oh my god!
Which shocked audiences. Apparently there's like an audible gasp because
Oh my god.
a little bit
of Zap line.
Oh god! I do like that visual joke of they tell him to put on a towel, so he puts it on his head.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
There's
amazing.
some nice little posters, if you noticed it, in the actual episode, where it's like they go to sign up for the army, and it's like, what are you, chicken? Buck, buck, buck. That's the their military sign up.
I've always adored in Futurama the little gags, like the little posters and the names of the other gums. And I was listening to the commentary on this episode, always thinking, they just try and cram the frame with so much detail. But the writers are actually pissed that Rough Draft Studios, the people who do the animation, would call up and say, "Hi, we need about 10 military posters to fill up a scene." And they're like, "Okay, we'll get those ready for you." And then it would be in the frame for like a fraction of a second.
Yeah. Because there was another one, it was like round hips sink ships. And I'm like, that's a good World War II British one.
And there's like 5 different gums in the very opening scene.
Yeah.
There was this one with spiders in it.
Hubble Bubble?
Hubble Bubble, yeah.
Yeah.
So
but there, I mean,
normal,
that's
is it? Oh,
part-
Hubble, no, yeah.
Hubba Bubble.
Hubble,
And
Hubble, yeah.
Big Pink, that ham
Big
gum.
Pink,
Would you want
yeah.
ham gum?
Well, I
Not if it had bones in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the downside of ham
mean,
gum.
it's logic. I love ham. I like gum. Clearly put them together. It'd be wonderful.
Yeah. He looked like he had eaten a lot of that off the packet, though. So did he just notice now that there's bones in this gum?
But I mean, that's all part of the wider joy of the Simpsons and Futurama. The sight gags, they're there for half a second, a fraction of a second on screen. But the 20th time that you watch the episode, you get it and you go, "Oh, genius!"
Yeah,
it's like the
it's
the newspaper headlines in the Simpsons and Futurama.
Yeah.
Are like some of the best jokes of the entire show. And in this one, for me, the victory paper with Zap Brannigan's beaten, like swollen face, it's just brilliant.
What is it? Balls thoroughly licked.
Yeah.
Balls thoroughly licked.
And the thing about
there's a Newton's
that,
cradle joke as well. It's quite
the thing
fun.
about that is that the original headline was "Earth licks balls," but the censors objected to that, so they had to change it to "Balls thoroughly licked," and they couldn't understand why that's better. I think it is obviously better. Like, you've taken out the person doing the licking from the latter. I think it's quite clear
that's
that was
true.
less
Because it's a
Yeah.
passive sentence. It's
Yeah.
The
more
passive
acceptable.
lick.
Yeah.
It's still a joke about licking balls. Like the content has not changed.
One of many balls jokes.
Oh, there's so many.
Oh, God.
They've got huge brains and massive
Chutzpah.
chutzpah. Why he makes a balls cradling.
We have seen far too many body bags and ball bags.
Ball sacks.
That was always a good one when I was a kid. I love that.
What do we reckon doesn't work in this episode? I mean, I've already touched upon mine, which is, if it was up to me, that top 10 list would be out of there. It's one of those things where I feel like the reference doesn't quite mesh with the story.
In 10 years, no one's going to know what the hell that was.
It's just a reference for reference sake, and it just
Yeah.
It feels like they could get away with using the most common words of Bender just by like calling up Farnsworth or.
No, I feel like they
asking
could
friends.
go. We looked at this database, and it's his most common word, and then Leela and Fry both go ass.
Yeah.
Like they know instantly exactly what it's going to be.
Yeah.
That would be just as good a joke, and it wouldn't date the episode so heavily.
The thing is, I've never seen Letterman, so I didn't get that it was a reference. I just thought it was a top 10 list that he was doing.
And
Which
it
is
just
fine.
falls a bit flat, and you're like, why are they doing that?
Well,
I guess.
we were also talking. I think we discussed a couple yesterday when we watched it. One of which was to do with the words at the very end of the episode when the episode ends with him guessing the word, and then he finally guesses it, and there's an explosion, and he goes, "I'm all right." That didn't work for me. That was drawing
And it was
a joke
That was
out
something
way
added
too
in
long.
last second. The explosion,
Yeah.
and then Bender saying "I'm all right" was added in days before
Yeah.
release.
As far as I'm concerned, Futurama, this was the final episode.
Yeah,
everyone is dead.
Yeah.
That's it. Pack her up, boys. Final episode. We're done with it. We're done with Futurama.
It is a bit silly because they do say it's going to destroy the planet.
Yeah.
Yes.
I there's maybe something to be said that maybe Zap Brannigan's men didn't make a very good bomb, that they were just kind of incompetent and they made a bad bomb that didn't work. But yeah,
Bender managed to...
they never make another joke like that.
That's very
well,
that is
Bender
a
managed to
assumption,
hold a bomb.
Yeah.
So he held a bomb before and exploded.
Maybe
he's just super strong and great at holding bombs.
If you have to think about it that much,
true.
it doesn't.
It's the Dolomite.
Yeah. Where's Cubit when you need him?
Yeah, no. It feels right. If you have to think about it, it kind of didn't work.
The MASH stuff is good if you're familiar with MASH. And
I was going to say, it does drag a bit once they go to the MASH site.
And they do the same joke with Hawkeye, iHawk.
Yeah.
They do the same joke 3 times, essentially.
It feels like that.
I think...
Where he goes sarcastic modelling, like, or irreverent modelling.
Irreverent,
but it's just...
Matt Groening seems to be really pissed about how seriously MASH took itself, because there's jokes in The Simpsons about it, there's jokes here. It's like...
How
God,
dare
we get
they?
it.
Yeah.
No, you don't really see
MASH
a lot
got too preachy
MASH
too.
parody.
There was one joke that didn't work that well for me. It was when Fry swallows the tent and Zap Brannigan says, "What's the matter, Private? Tent got your tongue?" And then he laughs and he says, "Kiff, write that down." And I'll submit it to Humour in Uniform. It was just... meh.
I feel that maybe that might have been like a submit things to Playboy kind of thing,
it's
like
one of those
off the era,
humor
like, send in your your risque things to Playboy. We'll put it in our magazine.
Yeah,
like,
well, you got the sight gag with the tent in the mouth.
yeah,
And that's it. You don't need the
No,
Raising
no,
awareness.
no.
Yeah, true, because
I
I mean,
would've-
we
I
were
would've
technically
actually-
in the middle of a montage at that point, weren't we? So
Yeah.
they could have just sped on with the montage, and
We'll do
that
it
would
later.
have been enough. Yeah,
We'll do a
more
fan
army
edit,
stuff.
just cut it out.
More army stuff, always.
I have a criticism, but it's fairly light. But why exactly was Zoidberg there? Because
He's a
the thing
doctor.
is,
But is he a credible doctor? I love that. I
It's the
think, like,
military. It
it's
don't matter.
This is I feel like it's the first time he's being paid to be a doctor. I don't feel like Farnsworth ever pays him.
No.
It's like, this is the first professional gig he's ever
Do you know
gotten.
why he's there? He's
this
there
is a
to
side
kill
he
the wounded.
moonlights as a medic.
If he kills the wounded, he doesn't have to pay any. Like the army doesn't have to pay veterans.
Oh my god!
That's the real reason.
Also, I love the design flaw of having iHawk.
Yeah.
One of his arms is literally only there to be a holder for his drink.
It's a
Yeah.
martini arm.
Gag arm. Yeah, good
He
designing.
performed surgery.
But another thing I love is Farnsworth's I guess ritualistic wanting to cut someone's heart out in a war. You know,
And eat it.
Yeah.
to
if you
gain
cut
their
it,
courage.
you cut at the heart, eat the heart, and you gain their courage. Their
tasty
Tasty courage.
You just make a weird Farnsworth sound as well.
Yeah, so he's like, so licking his lips.
I mean, there are some really wonderful details in the episode. Some really great jokes and some details, like you said, with the towel when it cutting back to the towel being on his head instead of where it should be. That was probably my biggest laugh, in fact, and it's all just because of the real cool details. That's what you get when all your writers are maths students.
Going back to that scene. Okay, the donkey in the shower, was that the one was that kid?
Oh, must have been.
So because I never got the reference, I never understood why there was a donkey in there. Now it makes perfect
That's
sense.
Kid's donkey, of course.
Why? No, they shouldn't have cut that. Then they shouldn't have cut it because now I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I'm like, I never knew as a kid why there was a donkey showering. I was like, okay.
At one point, when Fry bursts into the hole to be a coward, one of the other soldiers says, "Fry, you emu-bellied coward." Apparently, there was a joke about an emu earlier on, which they cut
Yeah,
out.
he was an emu farmer, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why that guy is why that guy's in dungarees chewing corn the whole episode.
He says,
yeah. It's weird. He looks like an American kind of American redneck. I say it where we had that Australian guy, as if they didn't bring his character back. You know, the Australian redneck.
The outback guy from
the
the prison
outback guy.
planet.
He got stuck in a mining
he's
slavery ring.
He's just
He's
still
the
there.
only guy
all the way
in the
through the rest of the
entire-
series. He's just still there in that mine, running that
Poor
place.
guy. Well, it's won by one Australian, so they ain't leaving him.
I know we're on sort of minor criticisms and things. I do want to go back to one of my favorite Fry jokes in the episode, which is where he says he's got to knock down the gate, take out those 3 guards, and steal a helicopter. I did it. Wait, that's not me.
Yeah, I just love
That's
how much
a
they
wonderfully
swerve.
weird gag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like they swerve you the entire episode. You think Lee Lemon is Hermes the entire time.
It was the white face that threw me off.
And another quick note as far as world building is concerned, we learned that in the year 3000 there are 28 hours in a day.
Where does that come up?
The 7-Eleven is open 28 hours.
a day.
Oh, right.
Oh, nice.
Didn't realise that.
So
Nice
in
spot.
1,000 years we expand 4 hours for absolutely no reason.
There's also, in terms of world building and the kind of stuff for the fans, there's like the flyover as the MASH parody. On top of one of the tents is the 4 symbols for
alien
MASH,
language,
and that's like another clue to the cipher for those symbols.
It says meat.
Does it say meat?
Yeah.
Ah.
Okay, cool.
This is not the first episode where the slogan "Don't mess with Earth" has been used, and I wasn't sure if that was a military
Bender.
cry or something, or if that was just like a Nixon thing, or if it was just
mess with the
humans
US
being
or
awful.
something.
Is
What
the other
happened
time
to
that
his shiny
song?
new robot body?
Don't mess.
Song
Yeah.
sung by
Yeah, you can
mess with Earth. Kill
Yeah.
Zoidberg.
Yeah, what is it? You can. What is it? You can eat my something. You can eat my truck, but if you eat my flag, you're out of luck.
Did you just do
Yeah.
Canyonero from The Simpsons?
Can you narrow?
Oh my god.
You see, they're all maths
No.
graduates, but musically they've got a pretty limited scope.
Limited.
It seems. Yeah. Tut, Simpsons guys.
Maybe we should have a vote.
Do we do voices first?
Oh, I forget my own format, really. So
Hey, we mix it up every time. It's fine.
Kissinger?
Are we going to Henry Kissinger?
I was going to say Henry. Quickly before we get on to Henry Kissinger, is he has one of my favorite lines, which is when Bender says that we're going to play the game of make Bender happy or I blow everyone up. Everyone makes an audible screaming noise. Henry Kissinger's reaction. All right. Well, you guys, let's hear your best Henry Kissinger.
Okay.
Ambassador, our people tell the same story.
All right. Young man, you have the bravery of a hero and breath as fresh as a summer ham.
You're heading towards Werner Herzog.
Oh my god, hero. All right.
Did what I could.
All right, I'm going to steal the
Excellent.
only other line I can remember.
think of another line.
What is funny?
Is that Rainier Wolfcastle?
Look, it's a bit of everyone.
I'm
He's
just
like
going to
a-
copy your line, sorry. You have the bravery of a hero and breath as fresh as a summer ham.
Pretty good.
Is there another line I can use?
There's
You could do a Simpsons one. Nobody
Yeah, 'cause
must
he's-
know that
He's-
I.
I'm just
Dropped
thinking, he's
my
the guy that
glasses
drops his
in the
glasses in
toilet.
the toilet.
Yeah. A lot of love that
No one
that
knows
Matt Grading
me.
has for
Henry
Henry
Kissinger.
Kissinger. clearly.
He's dropping his
Noted
glasses
diplomat
in the-
Henry Kissinger.
What is it they say? He talked his way into...
He
Jill
took his
St.
way-
John's bed.
Jill St. John, who was in who was a Bond girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
Jill
right,
Forever.
okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, not a reference you'd probably
No,
pick up.
no.
Another slightly dated reference. But apparently he did. It's not, there's no proof that he
He's a charmer, man.
did the nasty. But apparently it was quite a Lothario.
There you go.
That voice? Definitely.
Yes, come to
Yes.
bed.
You want to come to bed.
Yes.
Oh god, it's like a.
Do you
it's
want to
like
know
a,
why they call me Kissinger?
I
like
think I've been
Arnie,
activated.
but with integrity.
So, did you guys get a chance to watch Mother's Day?
Yes,
we did.
Oh, you guys! I love it because now we're still at an odd number.
Yes, that's
So-
what they get.
Someone
We can-
will get the deciding vote.
We
Yeah.
can
Perfect.
decide vote. Well, look, does anyone want to kick off? We're the reigning champions Mother's Day, putting up against War is the H word.
I think that I prefer Mother's Day, despite the fact that this has Brannigan and Nixon.
Yeah.
I feel like the jokes come a bit faster in Mother's Day, with the huge array of the rampaging robots. Mom is another great character. It's like a Farnsworth heavy one as well, which just works. I think a bit better than this one. Yeah, I still love this episode, but
I'll
Mother's
have
Day
to
for me.
agree on that. Definitely. I'm a big lover of Mother's Day. It's one of my all-time favorite episodes.
And holidays.
And holidays as well. I mean, it's not just an episode. It's a great time to spend with your mother.
Yeah.
No, but like...
Whereas
Wow,
war,
could you be
war
any
is not a good
less
time to spend
sincere?
a
It is a great time to spend with your
Look,
mother.
I'm a terrible son. I'm sorry. I'll admit it right here. That's why I love the episode so much. I'm making up for it with watching TV. It's Mother's Day is just great, and this episode is really funny, and I love the setting and all these characters. And it doesn't hold up against Mother's Day. Mother's Day, it feels like this grand event. It feels like I always feel like it's I've said it before. It feels like a season ending. It's like the whole world's going to shit. We're focusing on two like really great characters. You got Mom, you got Farnsworth,
who hold the fate of the world.
The fate
in
of
their
the
hands,
world.
I agree. It's for me, the Mother's Day is I love the robot designs in Futurama, and seeing them explore that and bring them all back as well from the previous episodes where you get the Crushinator and all the masked unit. They all come back. I think that's really a lot of fun for me, and I feel like the creators are having fun during the episode. And you get that a little bit in this, but there's just a few missteps in this episode, dated references and slightly off gags that just push it below the line for the Mother's Day set. So I think we have a winner already.
We have a winner, but I'm
the other guys have to have opinions. So.
I'm inclined to agree in order to just really make it a sort of landslide for Mother's Day. It's what was the H word does kind of lose itself a little bit after the battle. I find characters sort of wanting motivation and sort of long sequence in which to satirize MASH. But I think the time in which the Futurama writers work best, because they are a team of writers around a table, is when somebody comes up with an idea that they can all pitch in little gags for. And with Mother's Day, the gag is the robots are rebelling against humans. And they had enough gags from that premise that they came back to montages of destruction 3 times in that episode. That's how much fuel they got out of that idea. Is they just kept coming back to it and like, let's see what the robots are up to now.
Yeah.
Sort of, the bank machine and just everything. The training montage, they couldn't come up with enough ideas to excuse getting rid of the Zap Brannigan human uniform joke. Like, it's like, sci-fi army preparing. All right, Star Wars gag. Tents with with water. Anything else? No? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll cut that short then. So yeah, Mother's Day for me.
All right, so I have the deciding vote here.
You can decide to ruin.
Everyone knows Sean's vote is worth 5. So.
Yeah, so, little known fact of the show. No, I'm in the exact same camp. I mean, even though War is the H word has a lot of the more quotes that define Futurama for me, and a lot of them are predicated on Zap Brannigan being there because he is. I don't make any bones about it. He's my favorite Futurama character. But Mother's Day had me laughing more. And it's plain and simple, just as far as being a comedic episode and the world building to boot. It's just everything kind of ties together. The jokes don't date. I can't remember, besides Betamax, maybe? A reference really
the joke about Betamax is that it's a dated joke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's there for a purpose. And no, I can't really fault it. And, if it's not going to be Brannigan, for me, it's going to be Mom. So,
as the second favorite character.
As any chance to kind of beat the censor, as it were, Mum comes the closest. It's Mother's win again for a week.
Yay, Mothers.
Out of curiosity, do you guys have a plan for the point at which the 30th episode in a row has failed to beat Jurassic Park?
So we're
doing
a
plan for that point.
So we're doing season by season. So there's a winner for each season, and then we'll pit the season episodes against the best of each season against each other.
Oh well, that's okay then.
Jurassic Park's gonna mess everything up.
I'm thinking ahead of myself, but I'm not sure if Jurassic Park is going to be my overall pick.
It's like heartbreaking.
It's
heartbreaking.
Yeah, but I don't have a heart.
Well, you just say
You got to get me another way. Get my liver.
Yeah, if you're not a dog person or you don't have a heart, you're fine.
Guys, first of all, just want to say thank you very much for coming along. Hopefully, thank any audience members that managed to sit through
the weird syncing of this
catastrophic editing that's going to come through for this.
Well, thanks for having us, guys.
It was a real pleasure.
No worries, thank you.
Sort of, sacrifice you've made to the audio coherence.
The integrity of your entire podcast.
And just my brain. But look, guys, for anyone that is still listening. We'll be back next week with the honking. The honking.
Oh, yes, the work.
Woo!
Great episode.
Until then, I have been Sean.
I've been Phil.
I've been James.
I've been Paul.
And Paul.
Oh, wow.
Perfect
Okay,
sync.
that's
We're
what
using
we sync
using
off
that.
of. That's what we sync off.
We've been Paul.
And we will see you guys next week.
See ya.
Bye.
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 We were doing a play and we started looking at the kind of the geographical landscape of just the UK, and it's bonkers how close everything is together. It's like, where we would have maybe 5 members of parliament in that exact space, you have 260.
Makes it really easy to conduct online feuds because everybody lives so close together. Everybody's really nice.
Just yell at them.
You don't want to
from your
risk
window.
angering anyone because the next thing you know, they'll be at your door.
What the hell is that man with a can on his head? What was that? With the cape? Did you see him?
Oh!
Who is...
Yes, when Theresa May got elected. Yes, that was... So whenever the Prime Minister runs to get her seat back, usually it's an invitation to all the local psychopaths to run for election opposite her.
We're getting kind of the first instances of what it's going to be like talking over each other as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Why am I fucking editing this?
We need a clap sync. Do we want to do a clap?
or something?
Do you want to do a count, Paul?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So
Just Paul's on this one.
Okay. just pause. Okay. So we'll go. Okay. So we'll count from 6 maybe, so you can join in.
Oh my god.
Okay. Like just in this rhythm. 6, 5, 4, 3. Okay. That was you're supposed to join in.
Right, okay, you want to do this at the same time? I thought
Well,
we were
yeah,
doing, like, an alternating... Okay, fine, okay.
So if
okay, on 3, down from 6.
Yeah, okay.
So 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
6, 5, 4. What
4.
the fuck is wrong?
Well, I felt good about it. I felt I was going to get it in time, so I just went for it. Okay, from 6 on 3.
On 6 on 3. So is that 9?
So
From 6 on 3, under 2.
1, 2,
around the corner
3,
from
and instead
11.
of saying 4,
Are you
oh
going
god,
down
I'm not going to
from 3
help.
or
I'm not
up
going to
on-
help.
Up to 3.
Just do what you were doing. Start from 6. I'll join you on 3. You just started from 6, so do that again, and I'll join you on 3.
6, 5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
That was the worst.
That was
That was so synced up. It was perfect.
Oh.
Perfect.
Oh, I can't breathe.
yeah. This is all that on-air chemistry that we've been exuding all this time. It's
1, 2, 3, and then we count down from 6. Was that what you were trying to do before?
no,
Yes.
no,
What? Yes, it was.
no. Count down from 6 and join in on 3.
That makes no sense.
Very